Hello and welcome to the video on fire safety to the Bennelong building on the Gold Coast. In this video we will cover the fire safety management plan and the duties and the responsibility of those who own, manage and occupy the building. Firstly, we'll talk about the building itself. The Bennelong building is a three-storey concrete and masonry structure. It consists of a basement car park area, a ground floor level, first floor level and a second storey level with roof access. This building has been constructed with fire safety incorporated in the design. The Bennelong building has fire stairwells to provide safe exit routes, and in the event of fire can also provide a safe assembly area. It provides means for fire protections, alarms and monitoring, and it also contains fixtures for the prevention of fire spread by the installation of fire hose reels, extinguishers and blankets. Under the Building Fire and Safety Act of 2008, we have an obligation to advise and inform you of the fire regulations and instructions on fire safeties related to evacuation procedures. Other governing legislation and accompanying support documents are Fire and Rescue Service Act 1990, the Building Act of 1975, the Building Code of Australia, the Queensland Development Code, the Australian Standards, and the QBCC, which is the Queensland Building Construction Commission, and the Building Regulation Act of 2008. The purpose of Fire Safety Management Plan is to provide information on the potential emergencies at the Bennelong building, such as fire, explosion, spill, chemical spill, gas or liquid leaks, which may require employees and occupants to evacuate the building. Having a fire and evacuation plan and adequate occupant familiarity with the building and its contents will minimise threats to life and property. In addition to this, under the current Building Fire Safety Regulation Act of 2008, it is required that all buildings have a written fire evacuation plan. This plan applies to all emergencies where occupants may need to evacuate for personal safety. The fire evacuation plan is intended to communicate the policies and procedures for owners, employees, managers and occupants and their designated representatives upon request, so they have that information available to them. Under the fire evacuation plan, all persons will be informed of the plan's purpose and procedures as mentioned. It will cover such things as means of reporting fires and other emergencies, the correct emergency escape procedures and route assignments for your specific area, the process and procedures to account for all employees in an emergency evacuation situation that has been completed. It monitors the alarm systems fitted within the building. It is the owner and occupier for this facility has the overall responsibility for the preparation and implementation of this plan. Located on the ground floor in the lift lobby, there is a fire indicating panel which monitors the status of each area within the building. This provides the emergency service with instant information on the location and vicinity of any fires within the building. The fire indicating panel contains the alarm system for the building, and should any alarms be activated, it will show the source from where the alarm was activated. The building has two types of audible alarms, one which is a siren, which transmits through each section of the building through a permanently fixed speaker system. The second one is an alarm bell, which is installed on the pedestrian footpath outside the lift lobby at ground level. If either of these alarms are heard, the evacuation procedure must commence immediately. Within the building, there are specifically located manual call points. This is a method for raising the alarm and alerting other occupants of the building. They are red in colour and are commonly seen fixed to walls with the words, "In case of emergency, break glass." In the event of an emergency, break the glass front panel and the internal button will activate, sounding the alarms to the building. At this point, you must evacuate the building immediately. If a fire is discovered, evacuate all personnel from the premises to an assembly point. We'll talk about assembly points shortly. And ensure that no one re-enters the building. There is a PA, public address system, for the use of emergency services to continue the evacuation process. The fire alarm system is not connected to QFRS, Queensland Fire and Rescue Service. The alarm system within this building is locally connected and you must call 000 to engage the services of QFRS. In the case of emergency, tenants and occupiers need to be aware of persons with disabilities within their section and ensure safe evacuation with the help of designated responsible individuals. It is a responsibility of the tenant or occupier to ensure safe evacuation to either the assembly point or fire stairs, if no means of evacuation is possible. You must wait with them until QFRS arrive. Ensure that everyone is out of the building. Fire and evacuation instructions and training must be completed for all new employees on the first day of commencement. This is a compulsory program covering general topics regarding fire safety and the requirements of the Bennelong building. The employee shall be given specific evacuation and first response instruction for this building. This will include such things as fire equipment, closest emergency exit, emergency assembly areas, and any other specific emergency issues or alternative building solutions. Existing employees will complete an annual fire safety induction via the online training program issued through the property managers. There are no exceptions. Evacuation exercise, training and instruction will be coordinated by the occupier during the required annual evacuation practice drills. All instructions and training records need to be kept. Fire and evacuation records need to be given to staff and employees, generally within 2 days of a person commencing work at the building, and repeated annually. First response evacuation instruction needs to be given within a month of a person commencing work within the building and repeated biannually. Evacuation coordination procedures must be given to a nominated responsible staff within the month prior to that person taking on those responsibilities. That must be repeated annually. Instructions or any change to the fire and evacuation plan must be given to all persons within 1 month of the change that come into effect. As the occupier or tenant of that building, you must appoint a responsible person to take charge in the event of emergency. This person could be called a fire warden. This person needs to be familiar with the building, the surroundings, the fixtures, assembly points, and all issues related to the evacuation plan. Throughout the building, there is information contained on layout of the building, the assembly points, the floor plans. It includes the building classification, assembly points, fixtures and fittings that are contained within the building, being fire hose reels, fire extinguishers and fire blankets. All tenancy managers are responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of all the fixtures and fire safety items within their tenancy. They include such things as lighting, doors, alarms, extinguishers, fire blankets. These may change from tenancy to tenancy due to the specific nature of the business you may operate. Housekeeping is an important part of fire safety. At no point should any materials or goods be stacked in stairwells, passageways, doors, anywhere that may prevent safe exiting from the building. Most of all, remember, be prepared, be safe. Thank you.